We have drones flying over New Jersey. What's going on with that? Now, to be honest, I haven't really seen a video that I could call conclusive. Most of the videos are blurry, they lack spatial context, or in other words, it's a dot against a background sky or something on the ground that doesn't give you a reference to size. Um, and there isn't decent zoom information. Like, for instance, they're not giving you information like this camera's at this zoom level or whatever to give you an idea of what you're looking at in terms of distance and size. For the most part, uh, it's kind of unintelligible, at least the stuff they're showing. Now, let's assume for a moment that this really is happening. I don't suggest it's not. I merely have no real ability to confirm it. So let's try to figure out logically what it isn't. Well, it's probably not alien. Uh, being with the technology, beings that have the technology to traverse interstellar distances either want to be known or they don't. Either they present themselves or we wouldn't see them. Advanced tech would probably be much harder to see, would likely be smaller, and almost certainly would not have blinking lights on them. I also think it's unlikely to be foreign. Drones have very limited distances they can fly. If a foreign power were operating this close with some kind of naval or submersible mothership, as some people are suggesting, this would be a pretty expensive asset. If so, they probably wouldn't screw around doing recon like this. They would be giving away their capabilities and risk losing their mothership, which would probably be a fairly major setback. Is it the government? Chances are higher here, but doing what? Now, some people suggested that this is some kind of anti missile defense, which is pretty close to nonsensical. Drones are too slow and fly too low to be any form of effective missile defense. Some suggest that it's testing new equipment, and I also would say that's unlikely. The government has hundreds of miles of desolate wasteland all over the country where they can test new flying tech unobserved. This includes full mock up cities to test environments. Now, one thing that does have a stronger likelihood, but there are caveats. This could be nuclear, biological, or chemical detectors on the drones. That would indicate that one of the US's stationary detectors tripped somewhere or they have actionable intelligence. And that would be really bad. That means they think something's out there to be looked for. Now, on the favorable side to this would explain the area of interest over populated areas. If they're looking for something that detrimental, they're going to look wherever they think it is, regardless of who sees what they're doing. And it would also explain why the government is pretending these drones are not there. Gaslighting seems to be the government's go to tool in their toolkit nowadays. Now, on the unfavorable side to this explanations, drones draw attention. The sensors could have just as easily been flown in helicopters without raising as much suspicion. If there are real exotic drones out there, somebody with something better than an iPhone should have gotten a better image by now. If it's a clandestine mission and you control the airspace, why fly with the lights on? Also, the formations being flown would, and not all of them show formations, but uh, they would be kind of bad for doing a search grid. Another problem with doing all this stuff in the open like this is if somebody, a bad foreign actor, has something out there that we're trying to search for, do you want to tip off that we're aware of it and then that we're over the area of interest? Uh, that part doesn't make sense. Could it be some kind of private entity? I think this has a possibility. The big problem with this is some of the witness claims on the size of these items. If they were as big as an SUV as some people claimed, the government radar should pick that up pretty easily, especially considering they're close to military installations. And ultimately, that's kind of the key consideration, the reliability of the witness reports. For the most part, I do believe people actually are seeing something, and they may be drones. However, what they're describing and the pictures we're seeing so far don't make sense. If someone with good equipment gets a clear photo and we get size context, then we'll have a much better idea what's happening. Until then, I guess your guess is as good as mine. In the comments below, tell me what you think. What do you think's going on? Do you have you seen better imagery than I have? Do you have some experience that might give you an indicator of what you think is going on? Please hit the like button. If the YouTube algorithm brought you here and you're not a regular subscriber, check out my other titles, then consider subscribing. And if you know someone who might find this interesting, please share it with them. Thank you for spending time with me this evening. Hope to see you again in a future video.